Well, thank you very much. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Arabambi, unfortunately, what we're seeing is we had hoped that the Supreme Court, given a ruling about the Labour Party, will sort of give us clarity, but it seems that we've started to see multiple interpretations of what the Supreme Court ruling meant. So let's ask you what your thoughts are about the Supreme Court ruling.
Well, thank you very much. I am holding here before Nigeria and the international community. This is the appeal filed by the Caretaker Committee. You can see their name there. This is what we obtained from the Supreme Court. Now, in the appeal for lawyers in the House, your notice of appeal is what you are going to predicate every other thing in your originating summon. You cannot put what you don't have your notice of appeal in your originating summon. And their appeal is based just on two issues. They formulated two issues in the appeal. They said the relief sought from the Supreme Court, this is number 4, item number 4. The relief they sought is here, number 4. They said they want the court to allow the appeal. That's one. 2, to set aside part of the judgment containing the perverse finding and determination. Now, what not transpire is this. They did not ask to be named as the leader in charge of Labour Party. And you know why they couldn't? Because Supreme Court has made plenary decision that issue of party leadership, it is not justiciable by the court, that the court cannot dabble into it. Therefore, they also have busted, they busted themselves into a corner, asking for only 2 relief that the court, should set aside part of the judgment delivered on January 17th. So some of us are now shocked that, the same people are parading themselves, claiming the same Supreme Court, whom the court that they have accused here in their particular error that the court below, they are talking about the Court of Appeal, that they granted unclaimed relief, thereby turning itself into a Father Christmas. That was the accusation they made against the Court of Appeal. So I don't know whether Supreme Court is not a Father Christmas that we now dabble into internal affairs of a political party and now pronounce them as, the chairman or secretary of a political party. Because I want all of us to know that we are not fools, for God's sake. Because somebody is a governor, a senator, house of rep, or a businessman, a millionaire, doesn't mean you will now appropriate, every knowledge of politics, of law, or to yourself. It is the law that is misleading them. I am telling Nigeria that Supreme Court actually said, and that has always been their decision. The Court of Appeal they were accusing said they declined jurisdiction. That is Justice Amambaka. In the November 13th judgment they are complaining about, the court declined jurisdiction. In the January 17th, the court declined jurisdiction. The error made by the court was to have, overreach its boundary and now proclaiming that, this is the issue of leadership. And I need to make something clear. The November 13th they were talking about was not about issue of leadership. It was about the primary, it was a pre-election matter that happened when we did our primary in Ondo and Dr. Arabambi was elected, INEC publishing. But somewhere, Joe Ajero led NSP and his own caretaker chairman, Abdul, they went to INEC by writing a letter against the Constitution, signing it as chairman and secretary and submitted to INEC, which INEC refuses. They now proceeded to court, and the court ordered INEC to remove the substantive candidate, Arabambi, and replace it with the NSC candidate. This was why we now proceeded to Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal ruled that it's only the substantive chairman and secretary that can sign letter. Therefore, INEC should remove Episeni and put Dr. Arabambi. That was in November 13th judgment. Now, in the January 17th judgment, it was just Justice Amambaka who erroneously overreached his boundary. He had declared jurisdiction, But he only went ahead to say the judgment of November 13 that recognizes Barrister Julius Abure and national chairman still subsists, he now declined jurisdiction. This was what the national caretaker ran to court for. And Supreme Court on that day decided that both the Federal Court and the Court of Appeal, they lacked jurisdiction. They overstepped their bound. They were not supposed to entertain that matter.
So if
Labour Party is not in
so
the
if you are saying,
not
just to quickly interject now.
No,
if you're, all right, I just want to add whilst you're explaining.
Let me just give you that background.
Yeah, if you're saying that the Supreme Court is nullifying the jurisdiction of the appellate court to be able to say, that instated Julius Abure as chairman. So does that not automatically mean that if they're nullifying it, that means we're going back to the status quo to say that Julius Abure was not the chairman? Or is no longer the chairman?
No. That was not what happened. You see, we don't have any vacuum in Labour Party. There is no vacuum in Labour Party. Now, there was an extension as granted in our constitution. APC extended the tenure of their executive. PDP extended the tenure of Damagun. It is always there in the constitution. When, for some reasons, you cannot hold your convention, the neck of the party, which is the second highest, organ, has the power to extend, your state. And let me be very clear. Mr. Pitobi was there in Asaba when that extension was granted. And Lesotho was there in that Asaba when that extension was made. It was during the 1-year extension that they now went for convention. And what is the purpose of a convention? How do you make sure when you do your convention, it is it is sacrosanct? Here, this is the Electoral Act of the Federal Government of Nigeria. I am not just holding paper from my village. Now, Section 92 is very clear here, so that some lawyers should not think we are on. This is it. Every registered political party, when you want to do your convention, because the party said they should go back. Parties should go back to recognize the constitution and their, the constitution of their party and recognize it. Now, this is what the electoral say in Section 92(1). For you to hold a valid convention or congress, it says every registered political party shall give commission at least 21 days notice of any convention, congresses, and conferences meeting. But 82(5) says failure of a political party to notify the commission as stated in subsection 1 shall render the convention, congresses, conferences, or meeting invalid. Now, Labour Party gave INEC notice, but it was Governor Lesotho that, colluded with INEC that they should not visit. He has forgotten that the constitution is very clear. Once INEC has been informed in Section 82(1), that is the final. If they don't come, it will mean their business. And we have even gotten judgment on INEC. That was why most of these senators and House of Rep complaining. Let me be very blunt with you.
Okay.
That was how we succeeded in getting their name inside. Because INEC told us, all of them, they were in APC and PDP.
Mr.
They
Arabambi,
had to woefully in that primary was why they came.
Mr. Arabambi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for laying that background passionately. I could see the passion in your disposition, and thank you very much for laying that background. But the Supreme Court has advised political parties to resolve their leadership tussles internally. Do you think the Labour Party has credible and functional mechanisms as it is to manage such conflicts without judicial intervention as we speak? What's the way forward now that the Supreme Court has given its judgment?
Now, we need to clarify the Supreme Court matter so that people will not be fielding themselves with false information. Now, the party has internal mechanism. We have only 12 principal organs in our party. And the highest in our convention, National Executive Council, National Committee, we do not have what they call National Interim Committee. And I also want the lawyer to know that Section 223 has made it clear. You see, Supreme Court cannot void our constitution. Supreme Court cannot void the constitution.
But Mr. Arabambi, Supreme Court is the final court of...
I'm coming. You see, you know they were claiming the Supreme Court affirmed them. Section 223, I am quoting the Nigerian Constitution now, has stated that no party shall be aided by any unlawful organization except through a democratically, elected, election. So, interim committee appointed by anybody cannot function. Any day, any time, anybody posted their name on their name website, we shall proceed to court to go and challenge that illegality. Now, we have leadership because Abure has conducted convention in line with the Eastern Constitution. So Supreme Court, who says internal affairs of party is leadership, cannot dabble into our convention. The Supreme Court cannot nullify a convention because that will mean they are probating and reprobating at the same time. Our internal mechanism is there, and most of these people are not even a member up to yet now. And the people pushing them, they have their agenda. Now, today, as I speak now, they are all on their way. They said they want to come and invade the secretariat.
Okay, Mr.
You don't need to invade the secretariat. If you know the Supreme Court has affirmed you, go back, to that court to say, oh, this judgment you gave us, certain people didn't comply, file contempt of court, against the leadership. But as far as we are concerned, what we are trying to do is that we've been able to put a party in place after that convention. But what most of them wanted was this.
Okay, you are saying that they should go back. Mr. Arabambi, who are you advising to go back to the court? And are you suggesting perhaps that there should be a return to the Supreme Court for the interpretation of this ruling? No. The interim committee are claiming via a viral audio, because some of us were shocked that they could record justice of the Supreme Court without authority, because it is there that there shall be no land transmission of proceedings of court. You are only allowed to cover them before and after the proceeding. But you see the people that want to cover Nigeria, they went inside the court with recording gadgets. They were recording the justice of the Supreme Court today, that day, and they were sending it out. But if it was wicked, if it was APC or PDP that did that, you will see most of these people. They will be running around accusing the Chief Justice of Nigeria. But they were the one that was sending this information out, recording the justices of the Supreme Court, and now sending it out while that judgment was ongoing. That is how you see some people behaving and what they will do, even if they have opportunity to go into government. But as far as we are concerned, they are free to go back. We don't have any issue with the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said they lack jurisdiction. But before they went to court, there was a national chairman, there was a national secretary, there was also NWC in place, in line with with our convention. So for what we are saying is very simple. That party has no issue, and I'm going to make a reference before we finish. Remember, Anyanwu and Ode, they went to Supreme Court over the issue of national secretary. The Supreme Court declared anyone as national secretary. They said they should go back to the party. And when they went back to the party, the NWC of that party decided it is Anyanwu that is the national secretary. That is what Supreme Court is saying. Go back to your party is purely internal affairs of the party. They didn't say it's an affair of the governor of Abia State. No. They didn't say it was an affair of some senators, in the Labour Party. No. They didn't say it was an affair of some House of Rep. No. They cannot just conduct themselves together as a stakeholder and say, no, we are the party. They are not the party because we have 12 organs. Here. And I have here also is because of time, counter affidavit of INEC against this so-called interim committee, where they are not a body they are going to recognize. Okay, as far as they are concerned, there was a counter against them, which Supreme Court didn't look at because they were the one that bring issue of leadership. But as far as we are concerned, Abure remained the national chairman of the party as confirmed, and that we are going to do today in Abuja, as directed by the Supreme Court. He remained national chairman of the party. The Supreme Court did not say that our convention was not valid because that means they are dabbling into internal affairs of the party against their own judgment.
Right, Mr. Arabambi,
it is their lawyer that is making mockery, of the judgment of Supreme Court. We are not part of it.
Mr. Arabambi, thank you so much. We can tell that you are You're really, hurting as you share your summation. But just my last question and my only question for you is, where is Senator Nenadi Usman now? Is she still the chairman of the caretaker committee, or is she not part of the caretaker committee at all? And what is the way forward?
You see, as far as we are concerned, like I said, Supreme Court said, go and follow your constitution. Before you are going to amend the constitution, you have to go to convention. And who is the person that can write to INEC convention? It is there in the INEC statutes. Here, it is there in the INEC statute. It is only National Chairman and National Secretary that can give INEC 21-day notice of convention or congresses. So there is no room for interim committee in INEC. If they want to dare us, whether Lesotho or not, they can try it. We will push ourselves to 2027. We will continue to be in the corridor of that court. We only have the National Committee, the convention, the NEC, the NWC, that is headed by National Chairman and National Secretary. It is there. We do not have interim committee. The people that gathered in Abia, they have forgotten. When you want to call a NEC meeting, it is the National Secretary that will issue the notice. It is there in our constitution. Then he will not go and seek approval for the National Chairman. But the notice was signed by our presidential candidate, with due respect to Mr. Peter Obi and Governor Lesotho. That has no place in our constitution, except in the constitution of the party they were coming from, or in the Abia State constitution. It is not in our own constitution. So Governor Lesotho cannot just come and import all those constitution of, the way he used to govern the executive council and bring it to Labour Party. This is our constitution. We challenge them to show you where governor has the power to sign in letter to INEC. It was upon this that INEC filed a counter against them in Abia State that they are not a nobody. So as far as we speak now, Nenadi cannot act in any capacity for Labour Party because it is alien and is going to be against the ruling of the Supreme Court that said parties must obey their constitution. And let me tell you where that statement, first of all, emanated. It was between the former, Rivers State governor, that's Amechi versus Celestine Omea.
Okay.
And my Lord Justice Berio Dili decided that parties in Supreme Court must obey their constitution.
Mr. Arabambi, Mr. Arabambi, just to ask you what the next steps are, you have an whether we like it or not, regardless of how very convinced you are that your interpretation of the Supreme Court's ruling is what it is and that Julius Abure is still the chairman of the party. There are many who agree that that's not the position and that Julius Abure is out and the party will go on with Senator Nenadi Usman as caretaker. There also are reports, we've seen just if you can let me land. Please.
No, let me tell you.
Can I please land, okay. Mr. Arabambi? Can I please land before you go ahead? Thank you very much. So the question now is, what are the next steps in terms of the caretaker committee? I did see reports about the potential of a takeover of the Labour Party headquarters by the Senator Nenadi Usman caretaker committee. Can you confirm if there's a plan in this regard and what your faction of the party intends to do should the caretaker committee and the other supporters there insist on taking over the Labour Party leadership?
Now, if the Supreme Court, if they claim Supreme Court gave them the ruling in their favor, that means Supreme Court is perverse. That is what they are saying. But I am telling you that Supreme Court, but in their own appeal, they claim here, Supreme Court in the pretorial decision has said that the issue of leadership is not justiciable. That is, you cannot bring it to the court. Go and resolve it. And I just give you an example of Ode versus Anyanwu. It has been decided. For us, nobody, no court authorizes them. If court authorizes them, that means the court of appeal were right. Because they were the one complaining here in their ground of appeal that the Supreme Court has said that issue of leadership is not justiciable. So where are they coming from?
So what will you do? I think the question I ask you is, what will you do? Should they insist on taking over the reins of leadership? Should they insist on taking over the headquarters? What is the future for the Labour Party?
I know their plan. No, they cannot. They said they want to come what do you call it, in Yoruba balance, you know, when somebody is threatening to come and beat you in your house, you know, you too, you have to prepare for him. They do not have monopoly of violence. It was Jero, you know, this is, he has done it twice. He wants to come and try it the third time. We will be there for him. He is not the president of Nigeria. He is the president of Worker. And we are not civil servants. We are not under him. So if they want to come and try with a native man, even Governor Noti, no problem. We are there. So maybe this is important for people to declare an emergency in Abia State.
But can you confirm if there's a plan? Can you confirm if there's a plan to take over?
In Abia State.
Can you confirm if there's a plan for a forceful takeover? Because the Punch does report that there might be a plan in that regard.
They send the message. They all the audacity problem. They even send that message to me that they are coming to invade. They said to the national chairman that they are coming to invade the Labour Party secretariat. But we are well prepared. Since they were the one that sent the message, we have informed the security agencies about it. But they will meet us when we did their Gidigba. They will meet us.
When you say,
let them come with their club and project. Let them come with their gun. They will meet us in that secretariat.
Mr. Arabambi,
they will meet us there.
Mr. Arabambi, please, we don't want to. We're not preaching violence here. We understand. But when you say you are ready for them, what do you mean by you are ready for them?
They cannot take over that secretariat. I said they sent message to us that they are coming to invade us violently. Didn't we have the right to defend ourselves? If somebody in this country where we have a sitting president, some NSC who are supposed to conduct themselves in a civil manner, we have the audacity to be sending messages to political parties that they are coming to invade.
Mr. Arabambi, very quickly, because we're out of time.
What he did in Nimo, that he was beating black and blue.
Mr. Arabambi,
they said they want to go and invade that. So you mean I should sit down? Somebody come and slap me. Am I a mumu?
But you reported enforcement.
We have reported them. No, we will be there. So let them come. It is our territory. Let them come and invade us there, so that the security will know who are the people, you know, that came there, and there will be an opportunity to even change their leadership, because they were not supposed to put somebody who will not respect the rule of law as even their president. But today is going to be the test case for them. They said they are coming. Well, we are there. We will not run away.
The next few hours will determine. Like you said, today will be a litmus. Like you said, today will be a litmus test for what the next steps are for the Labour Party. With where you are now, do you think that the Labour Party is in any way, shape or form positioned for 2027?
Of course, that is exactly what we are planning. But you see, I'm not going to lie to you. I pity our national chairman. This was not what we bargained for, but you see, he trusted, you know, some people. Let me tell you, very soon, we will release how most of these people, you know, got their primaries in Labour Party. Some senators, all they have was 500,000. Something they cannot do in PDP and APC. 500,000 to get to that Senate. But today, because they have any money, they are now dictating what we'll be doing there. Soon, very soon, Nigeria will see, we're going to bring the shot out, so that Nigeria will know the kind of character these people are. We are waiting for them. All of them, they have ganged up. No problem. We have what they pay into the party account.
Mr. Arabambi,
will be given to the public. You will see some senators, only 500,000 naira. They have the cost because they are now using.
Who are these senators, Mr. Arabambi? Mr. Arabambi, if you don't mind, who are these senators?
We have senators in Labour Party. Okay. What got them is just about $1 million. So how poor they are, but today they have money. Abure is not good. I read one of them making comments today. The one in Edo. He's the one in Edo. Can he win councillorship election? That he must fail. I know how Abure gave him that ticket. He was almost sweeping as secretariat. He should go to court. He was almost sweeping secretariat.
You mean Senator Neda Emaswe?
So people criticize it, Akpoti, they know that Abure doesn't love the party. Since 2023, they didn't love our party. Was it not because he was able to pay the money in APC that he came to be, he came to Labour? And see, people should not be blaming APC when they say come and pay 100 million, so that people that are poor, they will not come. But when you give the opportunity, they will grow wings.
Mr. Arabambi,
whatever APC is doing to them, I'm going to support whatever PDP is doing to them.
We have to wrap up the conversation now. Mr. Arabambi, we have to wrap up the conversation now. Thank you for your time with us. We can see how very passionate you are about the subject matter. what we're looking for at the end of the day is that all political parties work in a way that ensures that we have democracy at its finest and we have a strong opposition. The Labour Party is currently not that strong opposition. But I guess in the next few hours, we'll find out what the latest developments are regarding the potential of the takeover of the NLC headquarters. Please stay well and all the best with the Labour Party. Thank you for your time this morning.
And please eschew violence.